Before the 2008 Daytona 500, Team Penske had never won a restrictor plate race at the Cup level, not one. In all their years of Cup Series competition, one of the most storied organizations in motorsport, they had never cracked the code at Daytona or Talladega. So how did they walk out of Daytona with a 1-2 finish? The answer involves a secret rehearsal. A driver watching his teammates' hands through a rear wing, and a setup decision so precise it came down to a 16th of an inch. February 17, 2008. The 50th running of the Daytona 500, Ryan Newman, driving the number 12 Dodge for Team Penske, wins the Great American Race. Teammate Kurt Busch finishes second, 1-2 for the organization. It's not just a win, it's the first Restrictor Plate Cup victory in Team Penske's entire history, and it happens on the sport's biggest stage in a milestone race with a gold trophy on the line. This wasn't luck, it was engineered. Let's put this in perspective. Team Penske have been racing at the Cup level for decades. Roger Penske is synonymous with winning IndyCar, sports cars, championships across multiple disciplines, but Daytona and Talladega, that blank space on the resume was very real. Newman himself acknowledged he had gone over 70 races at Daytona without a win. The track was always special to him. It just never gave back what he put in. That history made 2008 hit differently. Add the context of the 50th running, every car bathed in gold, the prestige amplified, and you understand why the people involved still talk about it the way they do. Inside the organization, there were also real tensions. By their own admission, Penske's cars did not have a strong tradition of internal teamwork. Historically, teammate relationships were complicated. That backstory makes what unfolded during Speedweeks even more remarkable. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. The tandem drafting strategy Newman and Busch executed didn't happen by accident. They practiced it deliberately, quietly, without tipping off the competition. In Newman's words, they rehearsed it without getting caught rehearsing it. Think about the precision required. Newman was the lead car. Through the rear wing geometry of the Gen 4 Dodge, he could actually watch Busch's hands and steering inputs from the car behind him. He used that visual feedback to stay locked in because separation meant losing the entire advantage. At superspeedway speed, peeling apart means losing the draft and possibly losing the race. On the setup side, the engineers were equally meticulous. Crew Chief Travis Geisler describes adjusting rear camber in increments of a 16th of an inch, running the housing change and then out, then back in again, multiple times across 6 practice sessions. Chasing tire blistering that was almost too small to see, that level of granularity at a superspeedway where most teams are just trying to survive in traffic is rare. They also made an unconventional aerodynamic call heading into race day, keeping the higher downforce configuration rather than going with the lower drag setup. The logic was sound. A car that handles through long green flag runs is more valuable than raw straight line speed if the handling fades. That choice showed up in the finish. What's also striking is the broader organizational lesson here. The engineer-led culture Don Miller built around Newman, with Matt Borland leading the technical group and a tight circle of systems-minded people, created the infrastructure for this kind of coordinated execution. It wasn't just 2 drivers working together. It was 2 cars, 2 crews, and a shared strategy operating as one unit. At the time, the reaction split pretty sharply. Newman had always been respected as a pure qualifier. The Rocket Man nickname wasn't ironic. It was earned on Friday afternoons at Charlotte and tracks where raw speed separated the field. But translating that into race day execution at the superspeedway level was the missing piece, and critics knew it. Winning Daytona with a coordinated teammate strategy silenced a lot of that. It reframed Newman not just as a qualifier who could go fast in a straight line, but as a strategic racer who could manage a complex 2-car operation under pressure. For Penske fans, a 1-2 result was validation of a long-running frustration. You don't go that many years with that level of organizational investment and not feel the weight of that restrictor plate drought. This win lifted it entirely. The 2008 win becomes the foundation for a sustained superspeedway program at Penske. The teamwork blueprint gets refined, the organizational buy-in grows, and the team builds a track record at Daytona and Talladega that rivals their road course and short track results. That plate program becomes a genuine strength, not just a one-time result. The win is treated as a lightning in a bottle moment. Personnel turnover, the engineer-led culture that produced it gets diluted, and the team cycles back to inconsistency at the superspeedways. The trophy stays gold, but the lessons don't stick, and the next plate drought begins quietly. Here's the question worth sitting with. Does this win get talked about enough? A 1-2 finish, a first ever restrictor plate win for one of NASCAR's elite organizations, a coordinated tandem strategy that was rehearsed in secret, all of it on the 50th running of the Great American Race. That's a story with layers. And yet, it sometimes gets overshadowed by flashier moments from the same era. So we want to know, where does this rank in your personal list of underrated Daytona 500 wins? Is 2008 getting the respect it deserves, or did history move past it too fast? Drop your take in the comments. And if this kind of deep dive NASCAR analysis is what you come here for, make sure you're subscribed, because there's a lot more coming.